So thank you for being here today. And look, everyone knows this Republican bill is a big mess. But now we're hearing chatter they might try to rush it to the floor as soon as tomorrow. So let's be absolutely clear. This bill is deeply flawed. It's devastating for American families. It rips health care from 16 million people. It has the biggest cuts to food funding ever, losing over 2 million jobs, and that might go up because we hear they may make worse the clean energy provisions, even worse. Biggest cuts to food funding ever. And instead of fixing the egregious provisions of the bill, they're trying to jam it through. They don't want the American people to find out what's in it. The more and more that Americans look at the bill, the less they like it, the more they despise it. Quinnipiac said, here are the polling data. Quinnipiac, 53% against, only 27% support. Fox News, 59 against, 38% support. Kaiser Family Foundation, 64% against, only 35% support. And you'll notice in these numbers, the American people are learning more and more about this bill, I think in good part because of the action that Senate Dems have taken. We have been relentless in letting people know how bad it is. And now they know. Of course Americans hate this bill. It steals their Medicaid. It jacks up their premiums. It takes away their jobs and gives trillions away to billionaires and special interests. So, of course, Republicans are scrambling and rushing. They know their bill is terrible. They don't want the American people to see what's in it. Republican leaders probably don't even want their members to know what's in the bill, or else it'll never get done. There's no good reason for Republicans to chase a silly deadline. None. Even Donald Trump 2 hours ago admitted the July 4th deadline's a fake, and yet here they are, rushing to meet an artificial deadline even though they know their bill is deeply flawed and harmful to their constituencies and their own politics. Republicans need to show some backbone and tell Donald Trump his bill is a disaster. It's a disaster because it betrays Republicans' own promises not to cut Medicaid, not to cut SNAP and the ACA. But of course their bill does. It has the biggest cuts to Medicaid and to SNAP ever. Listen to some of the things Republicans have been saying about their own bill. Here we have Senator Tillis. This will be devastating to my state. Senator Hawley goes from don't cut Medicaid to most cuts would be fine. And Senator Justice, our rural hospitals are going to have a tough time. You may have to hold your nose and vote for disagreeable policies. Senate Republicans should listen to their own words. Show some backbone, ignore fake deadlines, stop the rush job. Questions? Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Leader. One area you've had a lot of success in the Byrne process is getting rid of policies aimed at undocumented immigrants, whether it was Medicaid restrictions, Medicare restrictions, also the asylum fee. Can you just talk about the victories in that area?
Well, look, in general, we have gone to the parliamentarian because so much of their bill defied what reconciliation is all about, and we've been very successful. Yes?
Senator, what is your strategy? Are you trying to find cuts by talking with other Republicans? How are you tackling the floor?
We have a whole bunch of task forces in our party, in our caucus, assigned to talk to certain Republicans on certain issues. We have an outside strategy as well, I've been on the phone all the time, every night, with thousands and thousands of people from the various groups to call their senators. We're doing everything we can to stop this bill because it's so horrible. Yes?
Leader Schumer, quick question. Eric Garcia, Independent. There are now House Republicans who are explicitly calling for Zohran Mamdani to be deported. They're calling for him to be denaturalized. What are your thoughts on Republicans making these?
That's disgusting. Yes.
Senator, can you preview in as much detail as possible the amendments that Democrats are planning?
Yeah, we're going to have amendments focused in 5 areas, not exclusively, but focused. One is the cuts to health care. The second is that it raises costs for Americans and at the same time loses lots of jobs. The third is how it gives huge tax cuts for billionaires. The fourth is corruption that the Trump administration's engaged in. And the fifth is the budget deficit. Not the budget deficit per se, as bad as that is, but it raises costs. It's going to raise your cost to buy a car, raise your cost to buy a home, raise your cost for a credit card. Thanks, everybody.